Hi, welcome back channel, train station 2. Alright, unfortunately we got second after 32 seconds later. Right, so but today I learned it's important to make yourself happy. Although I don't have that 1000 coin legendary, I managed to get that 4000 keys legendary. Alright, so this is something I did before the start of the third competition. I managed to unlock 2 more jobs, and it's important because I've been stuck with 2 jobs for a really long time. So if you've been working really hard, eventually you will unlock 1 more job here. So that's really something I look forward to, and really it happens just before the start of the third competition itself. And of course, the more jobs you have, of course, the busier you'll be, but also give you opportunity apparently to work on jobs that you have items for. So let's see what we get today. Alright, so a lot of items to deliver are 740. Nonetheless, I think we have about 200 plus with time to make some as well. So let's see the other 2 items. Alright, so it takes time, I mean, generally, to fulfill those requirements, and this is some of the preparation we're going to do just before the start of the third competition. EP hit starts is important. The fact that we have now a new logistics center, you're able to yourselves to have extra storage. There's no need to store up those raw materials in your factory, also core your warehouse as well. So always have been using the factories to store raw materials. Now I can actually have this logistics center as my additional warehousing. I think that helps a lot, especially for a small warehouse like mine. Definitely it's not easy. If you're new to the game, invest into the building of your warehouse spaces. It goes a long way. So if you look at the items that normally take some time to build, you know that certain things only takes probably 2 or 3 minutes to do. Certain things could take more than an hour. So I'll always prepare in the context that we have those more than an hour items in the output tray. You don't need to wait for an hour to get them done, because you can instantaneously get them from your factory. For those that require less time, we can put them as a standby. Just make sure you have the raw materials on hand. But there used to be a serious issue when all your dispatchers are out, but with the new logistics center, that's no longer the case. That's because now the logistics center allows you to put in 3 trains per item. But of course, if you want more, you're going to pay in gems. I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to just keep myself to just 3 things per those items that we're going to collect. We've been working really hard, and along the way, I think we unlocked 1 more job. So in short, I have 4 jobs right now at the start of the competition itself. So this is something that I'm really happy with, and definitely that helps a lot. Alright, so as we move along, that's what I meant. We have 4 jobs later on, but now at this juncture it's still 3 jobs. Alright, so but some of you may be having 5 jobs, I know, because you are probably at the midst of it. Once you basically complete more, I think you drop to 2. Then you complete further, you have 3, and then eventually you may even have 4. Alright, so let's quickly check out what are items required to do up this bonus job. Bonus jobs are in rotatory order of gems, EP, as well as extra keys. So in just if you are into that, bonus jobs is good for you. Myself managed to propel to the first place right now at the start, but I don't think the competitors are all in. So my biggest worry is that the competitor that's really strong, the 899 competitor, comes on board. At this juncture, I don't see him in, but probably later on, and to my horror, he did indeed comes about. This is something I think we got to recognize. I mean, Pixel will try to group you with a certain competitors that make things frustrating, so that you spend real money, but do not fall for that trick. Most of the time you just go along with the flow. If we don't get it, we don't get it. Anyway, it's a free to play game. Alright, so there's something good to bear in mind. Logistics center is very useful, especially you have unlocked all the required item. This is what I intend to do right now. I discovered the purpose of it, and I think although this is just a 30-second job, but I think it's fulfilling. the fact that it doesn't require a dispatcher. So this is something you could think about. Go ahead and spend those precious coins of yours. I think it's relatively useful. But again, once you put it in, you can't use it for your other deliveries. Got to bear that in mind. So never use your best trains in. You'll use your second best, right? So your best trains will be used for collection of your 80 capacity train, 40 gold collection every 4 hourly. So use your second best. I think that's good enough, because this is basically an extra warehouse space. You can assign up to 3 trains for the cost, of course, of coins. Beyond that, you got to spend gems, which I'm not going to do it. So these are the items you got to think about, because if you basically have a few trains, it just means that every single time you click on the collect button, you're collecting a huge amount of raw materials. That will take up space for sure. So having 6 trains doesn't mean it's a good thing after all, because it just means every click you may be getting a few hundred items, and that's not what you want, because that jams up your warehouse. So just got to bear this in mind. Probably those quick 30 seconds ones, you can just send maybe 1 or 2 trains. Whereas those that take a longer time, 5 minutes, those you may want to send 3 trains instead. So this is the purpose of the logistics center. I find it extremely useful. You realize the full potential of it after using it. You can see my factory is always filled to the brim right now with that logistics center. But the only thing is that logistics center doesn't bring event raw materials. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I think it'll be really easy. So again, all this has to go with the amount of gold that you have to invest in. Previously, I was quite near to 2 million already, which I think I bringing to Egypt. Now it dropped back to 1.7. I spent quite a lot into the logistics center, which I think it has a very beneficial effect of you winning competition. It goes a long way because it's always there. It's unlike the event item, you'll be gone by end of the event. Alright, so here we have the last 2 hours or so. I'm still leading by 4 points. This juncture I was really trying my best to hunt for extra gems, because I know probably need about 8 gems or so in order to bring back my trains on time at the end of the competition. I'm just about a minute to 2 minutes short. That means it costs 8 gems for 4 trains. I've calculated all this and I've decided to hunt for that extra 4 gems by looking at the achievements. I discovered through the achievements, if I upgrade another 3 more of those common train, I will get probably 20 gems. That's why I decided later on to do the upgrade as well. So to give it effect, I would need to assess whether it's really worth spending the 8 gems. 8 gems is not a lot, but it's very precious to me. So because if I assess that the competitor is still weak, I may want to use it. If the competitor is too far away, because it's too strong, then probably I won't. To my horror, even though I've assessed the last 20 seconds, things happen. So I want to share with you very quickly on that. So this is my upgrades of the trains to achieve that 20 gems extra. Alright, so you can see trying my best here to spend I think about 100 over 1,000, and we get that extra 20 gems, and of course collect some parts as well along the way. Unfortunately, the assessment I made is too close, and is indeed 899 is an expert player. He knows when to time it, or actually to collect it you need to do it the last 10 seconds. So at this juncture I decided go ahead, and then to my horror unfortunately, he has spent a lot of gems and he claimed 100 over points at the last few seconds. So in that context, there's no way I can go about it. There's no way I can beat this guy because I don't have any more extra gems or jobs to be ready to be collected. And here we go. We have lost at the last moment. We just collected 250, and that's about it. So with that, of course, it comes with great disappointment. Otherwise, we would have already managed to get that 1,000 coin legendary. But nonetheless, to make myself happy, as I mentioned earlier, I got this. Alright, so at least RR is doing well, and I got another extra 100 keys. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. Remember, make yourself happy. Goodbye.